Good
นมั
evening.
สการเจ้าค่ะ
Greetings, everybody. I hope you're all well. So we'll begin tonight with Mudita. Mudita from Bangkok. How are you? Are you still connecting?
Okay.
Okay, Mudita, if you can hear me, you're the first one.
Good evening, Anajan. I have no questions today, so I will just listen.
Okay. Well, Sajalka, you're next. You have any question today?
I have no question, but I think Dhanajan, I'm thankful and much appreciate your comments on my concerns about getting old and my wrong way of looking at how the body will be, and will there be anybody there to look after upgrade and concerns. I think you answered my concerns very well, so it gave me something to think about, and I thought about that, and I've still been thinking about that. So thank you very much for your teaching, Dhanajan.
Well,
I have no questions today.
The path of the body might be different for each one of us, but the destination is the same. We all end up 6 feet underground or on a funeral pyre somewhere.
Yes.
So, but getting there is just maybe different. You know, you might be on a Cadillac, or you might be on a Mercedes Benz, or you might be on a cart, or you might be walking. But the destination is the same. Yeah. So the destination for all of our bodies are the same. So if you just can make your mind accept this path, this thing, then it doesn't matter which path take you there, because once you get there, it's all the same. Maybe it's a shorter path, maybe it's a longer path, maybe it's a strenuous path, maybe it's an easy path. But whatever path we are given, that's our karma. Let's look at it that way. And the way to deal with it is to build up equanimity in your mind. Once you have equanimity, then it doesn't matter. Your mind will not be disturbed by whatever happens to your body. So do a lot of meditation, get into jhana, get equanimity, and then whatever happened to the body then will not bother your mind, because your mind will not react. The mind will just accept, just merely knowing that's the way the body is. You know. If you have no equanimity, your defilement will start to raise a lot of issues, a lot of worry, anxiety, and so forth. Yeah. The body itself has no anxiety or worry as to what's going to happen to it. It's the mind that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to the mind, but the mind instead become worried about the body. How's the body going to be? How it's going to get sick? How it's going to die? But the mind isn't the one who is going to get sick or die. It's the body. And the body doesn't complain. So you have to come and tell yourself, your mind, that don't worry about the body. The body, it's not complaining. So why should you complain for the body? And you're not the one who's affected. You're just the one who used the body. And once you cannot use the body, then you start to complain. That's all. Because you can no longer use it to satisfy your desire. So you have to get rid of your desire by having equanimity, jhana. Then you don't have any desire for the body to do things for you. Then it won't matter what happens to the body. That's why the practice of samadhi is very important. To have mental happiness. Then you don't have to use the body to get you happiness for you. Then whatever happens to the body will not disturb you, will not make you worry, because you still be happy without the body, whether the body is sick or not, living or dying, the body is still happy with equanimity. All right?
All right. Thank you, Tanajan. Thank you.
This is just a rebuttal, just to try to steer your way, you to look at it this way. Everybody, not just you, but since you are the one who raised the subject. So, okay,
Thank
let
you.
me go. All right. Let me go to Kek Yen So from Penang.
Good evening, Tanajan. No question today, Tanajan, listening here.
Okay. Then let me go to Rusli from Indonesia. Rusli, you got any question?
No question from me tonight, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. And Gokseng, you're next. Any question from you?
Good evening, Ajahn. Yeah, I just have this this question. Normally, I would wake up about 4 a.m. in the morning to go to toilet. And after that, I will just sit down to meditate. So sometimes I can just sit down and meditate until for about 2 hours, until 6 o'clock. Then I will stop and do my daily routine. But there were times when I meditate, I meditate for about maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour, and I feel very sleepy, and I go back to the bed and sleep again. And when I wake up, wake up again, then I feel extremely tired. So my question is, sometimes I'm able to sit and for maybe about 1 to 2 hours, and then I don't feel sleepy. And then sometimes I just sit for about 45 minutes and I feel very tired, and I need to go back to the bed and sleep again. And when I wake up, I feel even more tired. So I'm just trying to find a solution to this problem of sitting down in meditation, then after that getting very tired, and then go back and sleep, and then after sleep for a while, then wake up again and feel even more tired.
It's probably your defilement. Your defilement doesn't like to do what you want you to do. So it creates this diversion. But if you have to go out and make some money, I think all your tiredness will disappear. If you can go out and meet your girlfriend or something like that and have fun, I think your tiredness will disappear. But when you have to do meditation, that's when all this obstruction will be created by your defilements. So just ignore it. Just do what you need to do, what you have to do. Whether you feel tired or not feeling tired, think of it as an illusion created by the mind to block your meditation practice. So you just have to be steady, hold steady on your path, on your practice, and just ignore. Only if you really feel tired, you will just fall asleep, Or if you fall asleep, you get up and walk, see what happens. And if you should fall asleep as you're walking, then you just have to accept maybe the body is really sleepy. But other than that, if you can walk, just walk. If you cannot sit, if you sit and you feel sleepy, get up and walk, doing walking meditation instead. If you don't want to be obstructed by your defilement, you just have to keep pushing yourself to do the practice. Then Don't let anything to be an excuse for you not to practice. Okay? If you should get up and go and make some money, I think your tiredness will disappear. If somebody call up and say, come over, I have $500,000 baht for you, $500,000 for you, and all tiredness will disappear right away, right? But if you have to get up and go pay money to somebody, pay the debt you owe, then you say, oh, I'm very tired, sorry. So this is what the mind is usually like with defilement. It only wants to accumulate, it wants to get, but it doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to give up. So you have to understand this is the nature of the defilement, trying to abstract your practice. But you just have to, stay on the course, stick to your schedule. When it's time to practice, just practice. Doesn't matter how you feel. Sometimes your defilement is too early, too sleepy. If it's late, it's too late. It's too hot, too cold, too hungry. These are all the defilement strategy to stop your practice. Okay, so you have to use really effort, strenuous effort. Just push yourself, keep pushing yourself to do the practice. Okay. All right, next, Willie from Indonesia.
Good evening, Tanajan. I don't have any questions today. Thank you.
Okay. Anura from New Zealand. Are you still under lockdown or is it over now?
Oh, we don't have a high
Oh, you don't have yet, yeah?
No, we never had any lockdown until we had only one last year. That's
I
it.
see.
So yeah. How are you, Tangaja?
Okay, thank you.
Just continuing the description you did just before about equanimity. So is it true? Is it correct that the 4 Brahma Vihara can only be practiced after jhana, after deep meditation? Is it the correct approach?
Yes, because that's when you get your equanimity. No other way of getting equanimity, real equanimity.
Yeah.
You can have forced equanimity right now, force yourself to not to react, but inside you still get angry or you still crave for something, you know. But with real equanimity that you get from jhana, no craving, no desire, and no reaction to anything. Once you have that, then it's easy to have metta, to have loving kindness, because equanimity is a happy mind. See?
Yeah.
A happy mind can give love, can sacrifice, can share, can appreciate other people's happiness or success. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think all the other 3 follow equanimity. Once you have equanimity, then metta, karuna, mudita will come naturally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try to practice mindfulness, because mindfulness is the key to get you into jhana. Yeah. Why not try one day, tell yourself I'm going to recite Bhutto one whole day long.
Yeah.
It's what's so difficult. Just tell yourself, today I'm going to recite Bhutto all day long.
True.
I might forget, but as soon as I remember, I'll keep reciting. When I don't have to do any thinking about anything, then I'll Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. And only use my thought for the essential work. Other than that, if the mind starts to worry about this or that person, think about this or that thing, just stop it. Recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. You have strong mindfulness, and when you sit, your mind will become easily concentrated.
Yeah.
And if you don't have mindfulness, you can be talking here for another 10 years and
Yes.
you still won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
You still be talking about this thing, talking about it, but not enjoying it, not having it. Okay, so I always stress mindfulness for practitioner, meditator. Mindfulness is the most important tool for your success.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. Kafiling from Malaysia.
Good day to you, Ajahn. Today just tuning in. I have no questions for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lillian from Bangkok, Malaysian from Bangkok.
Ajahn, I only have one short question today. I think I read in your biography that your teacher, Longta Mahabua, I think he did some yoga exercises quite often. I'm just wondering, is yoga useful for our daily life as well, to practice, to get the mindfulness, or just for us to breathe properly? Just wondering what are the advantages of doing yoga as well.
You can practice mindfulness with everything that you do with your body. Walking, standing, sitting, eating, everything. These are all good practice for mindfulness practice. The reason why people do yoga, my teacher did yoga for therapeutic effect, for helping making the body having no ache and pain, the muscles but you can use any action of your body as the basis of your mindfulness practice.
Okay.
Just be aware of what you do and don't think about other things. Just focus only on what you do.
Okay.
This is the way to build up mindfulness. So you can do anything and be developing mindfulness at the same time.
Okay.
If you just keep watching what you do and not letting your mind go thinking about something else.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You have the body you have to take care of, right? You have to eat, you have to exercise. Yoga is another form of exercise. Stretching your body to soften your muscle so it doesn't feel stiff and give you ache and pain.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Next, Siddhartha from Indonesia.
Good evening, Thanajan. Today I don't have any question. Thank you.
Forest Town from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hi, Thanajan. So I have heard that the Buddha said that sensual pleasures are like a butcher's knife and the aggregates are their chopping block. I was wondering if Thanajan could explain what this means.
Well, they're partnerships. You have to have the aggregates to be able to access sensual pleasure. But instead of only getting sensual pleasure, you also end up getting sensual suffering, sensual pain. So that's what happened when you use a knife with a chopping block. You chop the mind, and the mind becomes painful. Because what the sensual pleasure don't last. And when they disappear, that's when the sensual pain came in.
I see.
You feel lonely when you lose your girlfriend, lose your partner. And suddenly you feel lonely, you feel sad. Yeah. So they're just partners. You need to have the body and you have to have the mind, the five aggregates, the five khandhas, in order for you to be able to have access to sensual pleasure. But with mental pleasure or inner peace, you don't need these five khandha. We actually want to stop them, stop using them, but and switch to mindfulness instead.
Hmm.
When you use mindfulness, you don't use the five khandhas, the five aggregates. Just use concentration, mental power, mental concentration.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for explaining, Tanajan.
Philip from Malaysia, Adeline.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Ajahn, I got a question with regards to the Buddha's teaching of the middle path with regards to the everyday practice. When the Buddha prescribed the practice of the middle path, right? Not to swing towards the extremes, right? Is it a path that is wide enough for you to sway, or is it a balance on a fine needle point where you don't you cannot swing from one or the other? Because I find that some practices requires you to be observing very strict, and some of the practices allows you a slight path to wobble off to the left or the right. I want to get Tan Ajah's opinion or guidance on this portion.
I think when the Buddha talked about the middle way, when he first gave the first sermon, first discourse, he was referring to the three ways of getting rid of your suffering, your stress or sadness or unhappiness. For most people, they go to rely on sensual pleasure. For lay people, they have parties, they have movies, they have entertainment, they have food, they have drinks, they have all these things to make them feel happy. And when you feel sad, you go to a movie, you go to a party, or whatever forms of entertainment you seek. That's to get rid of your sadness. But this is a temporary measure, and it's not permanent. It only makes you feel good briefly. After when you come back from your vacation or from your movie, the same sad old feeling will come back again sooner or later. So the Buddha said this is not the way to get rid of your sadness, your dukkha. And then there's another line of a group of people who use the another extreme method of getting rid of their dukkha by torturing their own body. Because when they feel they have tortured their body, they feel peaceful and maybe happy. Yeah. But then this is also temporary because it's not permanent. So you have to keep on mutilating your body, torturing your body until you die, and still it won't kill your suffering permanently, because the cause of your suffering hasn't yet been dealt with or hasn't been eliminated. They could not be eliminated by sensual pleasure seeking or painful pleasure seeking. These are the two extremes that the Buddha saw during his lifetime, when he saw people look for ways of getting rid of their dukkha. They see lay people do this sensual thing. They see the monks do the mortification, self-mortification thing. And he saw them both, he tried them both, and he knows they were not the way to get rid of the dukkha. You can get rid of them temporarily when you do it, while you do it. But after you finish, it disappears and your dukkha come back again. because they don't get rid of the cause of your dukkha, which are the three cravings. So the Buddha, after do some analysis and thinking, reflection, he eventually found that the method should be of vipassana and samatha bhavana with the support of sila and dana. So this is how he make up the eight noble eightfold path as the middle way, to the cessation, to the complete cessation of dukkha, of suffering, permanently. So you have to practice dana. If you still have money, if you still rely on money to get rid of your dukkha, you should stop. Give it away. Yeah. And then rely on the practice of sila and meditation. You need sila to help support your practice of meditation. Sila here, I mean the 8 precepts upward, 8 or 10 or 227, whichever the case may be. You need to restrain your sensual activities. This precept will restrain your sensual activities. So then you will then have the time to come and meditate, to develop mindfulness, develop jhana, and then eventually develop vipassana, to see that everything in this world doesn't give you pleasure. They all end up giving you dukkha, because all the pleasure you get from them are temporary. See? So this is how he started his first discourse, to tell the right path to the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. Summarizing it, dana, sila, and bhavana for lay people, and sila and bhavana for the ordained. Because those who already did all the charity part, they gave up all the money and became ordainee. They don't use money anymore. So this is what he meant by the middle path. But there are also, this middle path sometimes is also used specifically when you do your practice, which means you should not be too extreme on both sides, not too lazy and not too over diligent. You have to, because sometimes you practice over diligently and might hurt your body. So you have to know the right amount, how much you can exert. If you worry about your body and so you don't want to exert at all, this is not good either. But if you overexerting and then hurt your body, then this is also not good, because you need your body to be healthy and strong in order to do your practice. If you exert until your body gets sick, then you cannot practice. But this is a more not referring to the middle path that the Buddha said in the Dhammacakka Vattana Sutta. Okay. Does this answer your question?
Yes, because Tanajan, I mean, and you mentioned that one should practice, like for example, trying to take less food, or even go on a like starvation for a while and things like that. And I've tried it, and I mean it's actually very good for meditation. There was one session that after a while of starvation, probably about a day or whatever, and I was meditating. It was fine. It didn't bother me, and it was after the sitting, it was time for me to grab a lighter meal. And then after finishing the lighter meal, I went back, right. What had happened is that the next meditation session, the mind was a bit sharper, was a bit more attentive, had like it's like a battery charge from a from a like a handphone like that. One was like a bit slightly low power, and the other one was a bit sharper, more vigor. So I was just wondering whether in that case, should I have pushed a bit longer the salvation to continue the practice, or to be on a slightly more middle path in that?
This is a math you have to try on yourself and find out. See? No one can tell you because you're the one who's doing it. So you know what is the right amount for you. So you want to look at the cost and the result. If I increase this cost, will the result be better or be worse? So you have to figure it out yourself by trial and error.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
And they are like tools to enhance your practice. Because if you live normally, you eat normally, you tend to be lazy and not exerting. So you have to try to stretch this tool to the limit, to your limit. Maybe one day it's good, maybe 2 days better, 3 days better. Take a statistic. It's probably like a graph, Eventually it will reach a peak. And if you go further than that, instead of getting good result, your result might be plateauing or be sloping down again. So it's like engineering, like statistics. You can keep statistics. If I pass 1 day, this is what I get. If I pass 2 days, this is what I get. You can plot it. It should become like a bell curve shape. Right? If you pass the middle point, if you go further, it's not going up, it's coming down, then maybe this is not you don't need to go that far. Just try to get to the maximum of the curve. But as soon as the curve starts to come down, then you don't need to extend your fasting days. So this is something you have to study for yourself.
Understand.
And it works with other methods also. Walking for many hours. How many hours is good for you? 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? There will be you'll find the right amount that is good for you. That give you the best result. And if you go more than that, you find it's not giving you any better result, then you say there's no need to torture your body that hard, because the result is the same or less or less than torturing your body less than that.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
Don't get lost just on counting the day that you fast. Sometimes your defilement start to challenge you to do more fasting days without looking at the result. So you, instead of looking at the result of the practice, you look at the days that you can fast. Then this is no good. You can be deceived by your delusion if you're not careful. Some people just look at the days they fast and not the result from fasting.
Okay.
So you have to look at both the cost and the result from your practice. Your practice is the cost, and the result is the advancement of your mind into jhana, into vipassana. Once that's it. Push you ahead, or you're not, or you're digressing. Then you have to readjust the amount of your practice properly. Find the right measure, which can be called a middle path also.
Thank you, Ajahn. Understood.
Okay.
Very clear. Thank you.
Next, Jolin Tay from Singapore. Jolin.
No question today. Thank you.
Okay. Claudia, Serena, you've been away for a few weeks.
Good afternoon from Germany, Tana-chan.
We miss you. We all miss you.
Oh my goodness, this, wow. I had to work in the afternoon hours at school with my student. But once in a while I watch the Facebook video of the Dhammatalk.
Yeah, don't feel guilty. I'm just teasing you. I'm just,
Excuse me?
Don't feel guilty. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah. Yeah. But now summer vacation will be here soon. And so I want to participate more actively again.
You're welcome, and you're welcome to join or not join. It's perfectly okay.
I know.
Because we all might have different things to do at this time. So sometimes you can join, sometimes you cannot join. It's no problem.
But I always love to be here, and I'm glad that I have the chance to watch it on Facebook, for example, after work. But I like it much better to participate on Zoom.
Okay, do you have any question today?
Not today, but maybe next week. I still have to think about a question I maybe have.
Okay. Maybe when you're listening, you might have some question later on. You can ask the second round.
Yes.
Okay. Alvin Lee, you're next from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan. Tanajan, I know of this lay person who has been practicing for a very, very long time. I think he's very, very well versed in Dharma. Recently, he told me that he actually don't meditate that much anymore, and he said he can maintain his mindfulness whole day. But there's one thing that he told me as well. He said I can switch off and switch on the mindfulness as and when it's like he wants. What does it mean by that, Tanajan?
You have to ask him. Don't ask me. Because once you have mindfulness, you don't switch it off. You use it. It's a very important tool for your practice. If he's saying that I already have mindfulness without having to recite the mantra, then maybe that's what he means. The mantra is just something to set up your mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness, then you don't need to have the mantra.
So
but you still have mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't turn off or on, except that at the time when you go to sleep. When you're awake, whatever mindfulness level you have, that's the level of mindfulness you have.
So for them, if people with a strong mindfulness, when they sit down for meditation, they
don't need to use the mantra. They might just look at the breath for a few minutes and then they might go into jhana right away.
I see. Okay.
For people with less mindfulness, they might have to do a lot of chanting first, a lot of reciting of the mantra before eventually they can get the mind into jhana. So, but once you have mindfulness already established in your mind, then you don't need the mantra. But you still need to focus your mind on something, or on emptiness, for instance. Focus your mind on your thought. Stop your thought. If you can stop your thought, then you can enter into jhana.
And a person with strong mindfulness, the whole day, the strong mindfulness will be with them, right?
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
It becomes automatic mindfulness. Dhamma Talk used to say, mindfulness, once you have developed it, it will become automatic mindfulness. Always there. Like when he used automatic, I think he refers to watches. In the old days, there are two types of watches. One that you have to keep winding it, and the other is automatic. You don't need to wind it. It continues to work all the time. So when you first start, it's like a winding watch. You have to keep winding your mindfulness, having to keep reciting Bhutto, 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 keep watching your body action to raise this mindfulness, to keep this mindfulness going like a watch. But once you get to a level, this mindfulness will become automatic.
And a person with strong mindfulness, like Tanajan, you say it's automatic. Anger would not arise in the person. Like say,
They rise, but they rise still because they haven't yet developed wisdom. See? But they can control their thought, their anger. As soon anger arises, they can stop it, but they cannot eliminate them completely.
Right.
That's when you need to have the anicca dukkha anatta to teach the mind to see that to crave for something will get you dukkha sooner or later. And then once you cannot get, once you have dukkha from your desire, then your anger can arise.
Tanajan, what is the difference between with a person with no mindfulness but would suppress the anger from time to time?
If there's no mindfulness, they cannot suppress. Like a drunken person cannot suppress their action. Normal people, when they're angry, they can suppress. It depends on how strong their mindfulness is. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes, sometimes it takes 1 hour, sometimes it takes half a day.
Good.
Sometimes you get angry from the morning because somebody said something you didn't like, and in the evening you're still angry at that person.
Yes.
That means you don't have mindfulness or very little mindfulness to stop your mind from thinking about that person.
But like sometimes you don't have a choice, right? If your boss says something that make you angry, you still have to suppress your anger in front of them. But inside you yourself, you're probably angry.
If you have mindfulness, then you can stop it. If you don't have mindfulness, then you just cannot stop it. You will just have to let the anger dissipate by itself. After a period of time, then the strength of the anger will eventually disappear.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, is that all?
Yes, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Sinji and Monica Chen. Sinji is not here today.
Yes, good evening, Tan Ajahn. She's still having a meeting.
Working
every Tuesday. Yes, still working.
She's working. Oh.
Yes, they're meeting now with the online is terrible. It comes into the houses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any question from you today?
Yes. Actually, may I know this community after coming up from the jhanas? Is it the same with the one that the equanimity from the 4 Brahma Viharas?
Yes, the same one. You have to have this. This is the real equanimity. There are false equanimity, like when you're angry at someone and you try to suppress it with mindfulness. This is not real equanimity. But with real equanimity, you won't get angry.
So that means when we develop the 4 Brahma Viharas and the equanimity that resulted from it is the real one.
You don't need to develop all 4. You only need to develop the equanimity. Once you have equanimity, you're happy, you're content, so you can be nice to other people. You can have metta, you can help other people if you see them in need, and you can show your joyfulness to when you see other people are successful in what they do.
Okay.
But if you not have equanimity, your mind is constantly desiring, craving for things. So you'll find it difficult to practice the other 3 or the 4, all 4. So this is the real path to the Brahma Vihara is to access to jhana.
Okay.
Make your mind happy. Once you're happy, then you're not grumbling. You know, when you see people, you can smile at them, right? When you're happy. But when you're not happy, you look at people and you look at them like you want to devour them, you want to bite them or something.
Yeah. Okay. So then I realized that what is the effective way where we can teach the mind to be disciplined? Because I realized that lately my defilement sort of like is quite strong. When I want to meditate, the laziness keep on kicking in. So what is the effective way?
You have to set up the rules that you have to follow.
Okay.
The schedule that you have to do, things you have to do. Put up the list, the things that you have to do, and then try to follow that list that you put up. Like if you want to have lots of practice, then you have to set up the time for practice, like appointment to a doctor. You make appointment, then you go. When you make appointment, you go to see the doctor, right? But when you don't make appointment, you don't go to see the doctor. It's the same way. You have to make appointment with yourself that this hour I'm gonna do walking meditation. This hour I'm gonna do sitting meditation. I'm gonna keep the 8 precepts, this pansa, this main residence, instead of 5 or something like that. So you have to set up the schedule and then follow it. Then you have the discipline. Discipline happens when you follow the things that you set up yourself to do.
Okay. All right. I will. So we just set up and just try to follow it.
Yeah, not try it. You have to follow it if you want to have discipline.
So when will be the best time to set up the schedule then? Is it maybe after meeting, after meditation or whatever?
Now and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? You want advance in meditation, then you have to spend more time on meditation. So you have to cut down your time on other things, on other activities.
Okay. Actually, the urgency is there. We see people being pushed, take away by ambulance, due to COVID-19.
That's right.
And yet sometimes, but the mind sometimes still like reluctant, it's okay, you can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
That's why you should go to funeral a lot. Try to attend funerals. It can then wake you up. Yeah. Give you a wake-up call when you attend a funeral and say, my God, this will happen to me sooner or later also. This person didn't know that this is going to happen to this person now, but it happened. Nobody expects to die today, right? Yes. But what happens? You have dead people every day. If you can ask them, do you expect to die today? And I guarantee you, nobody will say, yes, I expect to die today.
True. Yeah. Because I just lost a young client. He just went out to throw garbage, and a truck just came and knocked him. Severe head injury, and he's gone. Just like that.
That's right. Especially when you're healthy, you don't expect to die. But if you're sick already and then you might expect to die. But other than that, you don't expect to die, and you don't want to think about it. That's why it makes you're complacent.
True.
So the Buddha teaches us to reflect on death every day, and many times a day, if possible.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. Next, Evie from Indonesia.
Hello, Tanajan. Tanajan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Tanajan, I want to ask, when I'm meditating, I still try to help from the forehead and the nose. They form a one straight line, and it is good enough to tie my mind not to go anywhere. today my meditation is a bit difficult, unlike usual, more pressing above the head, because today the pressure is in the chest. And I think every day is a different experience, never constant. Does a professional like Ajahn always have the same meditation experience, or the sensation that occurs is also different, or no sensation?
Every practitioner is different, so I cannot. You don't worry about other people, just worry about yourself. Other people's problem is maybe not be your problem. So just look at your own problem and try to solve it. And don't worry about other people's problem.
Yeah, because the experience never same. Today and tomorrow never same, and tomorrow again never same, and tomorrow again never same. So I guess, am I not stable or what? Or just like this, the professional is also like this, I don't know. So I asking to Ajahn.
You haven't found the right way to practice mindfulness, that's all I can say. You cannot recite a mantra, you cannot keep focusing on your body activity because your mind wants to be independent, wants to have freedom to do whatever it pleases, right?
Yeah, for a while, okay, with the body, but for a while again, the mind go and back again to the body and go again and back again like this. Not stable.
Because you are not persistent. You're not insisting that the mind should not go away. It should always be here and now. You have to insist, or else your mind will just keep playing tricks with you all the time, finding excuses for you.
So the best thing is my mind must with my body, always with my body.
Yeah, whatever you do, just stay with your action. Eating, just eat with your body. Sleeping, walking, just walk with your body. Taking a shower, take a shower with your body. That's all. It's so simple, and so it's so hard to do.
But I think more easy is just feel the body is here, but no recognize the
yes, it's easy,
activity.
But what did you get? You only feel it briefly, and then your mind already went away and think about something else, right?
Just know this is the body, the skin.
Can you do that all the time? That's the point. See, you can know it, but you only know it a few seconds, and then you already start thinking about other things without knowing yourself doing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, because if I try looking at the activity, that is so difficult. But if I feel okay, the body is here, that is more easy. Can I do that, okay, Ajahn? Where is the body? Okay, the body is here. Okay, I feel the body.
Yeah, but how long can you do it? That's the point. See?
Yeah, like if I'm asking myself, okay, the body is here. But if I'm not asking, sometimes I do something, I forget again, and I remember, okay, where is the body? Okay, the body is here. And when I do something, okay, I forget again. Just like that in the whole day, Ajahn. There is no stable.
Okay. You just have to find yourself the way. I cannot help you. I try my best, but that's about all that I can tell you.
But that is the right way. If
I don't know. I told you the right way, and you say you cannot use it, so you want to use the wrong way.
Wrong way. Okay,
I don't know. I don't know it's right or not, but I never practice it, so I cannot tell you whether it's right or wrong.
So must attention to the activity.
Yes, that's what the Buddha said. Read in the Satipatthana Sutta.
Okay, I try. And and I want to asking again. Can I meditate in the bedroom, Ajahn? Because sometimes I'm lazy to meditate in the front of the altar.
You can meditate anywhere. The point is whether you succeed or not. That's the point that you should ask yourself. If I meditate in this room, will I succeed? Did I succeed? So you have to try it every time you meditate and see whether you succeed or not.
But in the bedroom is people say no polite or the bedroom is not clean, not clean place or anything.
So what? The Buddha meditate in the forest. Do you think the forest is clean?
Yeah. Okay, Ajahn. And how to motivate myself, because I sometimes get lazy to meditate, like now.
Just think about death. What happened if you die today? You still lazy?
Yeah,
Or
because
look at the time of your life. You're losing your time of your life every day. Life has become shorter and shorter.
Yeah, minute by minute. Yeah. Okay, Ajahn.
Okay. All right. Next, Vince from Singapore.
Hi, Ajahn. The question is that I think we hear a lot of awareness. Can you share with me what is the difference between awareness and mindfulness, and how Noah play in mindfulness?
Well, to be aware in the present, in the here and now, is mindfulness. But to be aware about the past, the future, about this and that, that's not mindfulness. You have to be aware of the present. Bring your mind in the present. Stay in the present. Don't go into the past or go into the future. You can, but if you go into the past or the future, it has to be controlled. Not just let it go off just for the fun of it, Like when you use vipassana, then you have to investigate the past, investigate the future to see the impermanence of things. If you look at it in the present, you don't see the change. So you have to look at the past, the present, and the future, and then you can compare these three periods, and then you see the change in that object, such as your body. But this is control thoughts, control awareness, not just merely wishy-washy or daydreaming type of awareness.
Ajahn, does it make any sense if we just watch the mind between thinking mind and so-called calm or focused mind? I mean, what do you call it? That means once you watch your breath, right, there's this calm mind, right? So sometimes drifted to thinking mind. Is it make any sense we just watch the drifting and going back to the calm mind?
It depends on what you want. If you just want to watch it, then that's fine. But if you want to still your mind, then you have to watch only on one object.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I asked in regards to daily life. Daily life, I always have to go back to the breath in order to get the calmness back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Sri and Czech from Vancouver.
Ajahn. How are you?
Okay. Any question from you?
Ajahn, you talked about the other day on the Q&A. You talk about the 4 ways to practice loving kindness, like the 4 verses that.
Yes. Not to hold any grudge. Avela hontu.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the second and third one,
they're quite similar.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah,
hurt other people in general. Don't do whatever you do. Don't cause any harm or injury to other people. Or cause disruption, maybe not harm or injury. Just don't disturb other people. Don't disrupt other people's life. Whatever you do. Don't give a party at home and then turn on the music so loud and disrupt people's tranquility.
Be considerate, Ajahn, right?
Yeah. While the other is more specific, the third one is don't harm people, don't cause injury to the body or to the mind, like hitting them, hitting people physically, hurting people physically or mentally. Mentally mean to say something or to do something to make people angry, to make people sad.
Sorry, Ajahn, the second one is not to disturb other people?
Not to cause any problem with that, not to anything. Don't whatever you do, don't have any impact on other people.
Oh.
Negative impact.
Good. So it's like sila. It's sila, right? Ajahn, like basically.
Yeah, it's sila, like not stealing other people's money, for instance. Steal other people's car, burning other people's house. Why the third one is more specific, like shooting at a person when you're angry, or do something that will hurt, makes a person sad or unhappy. Maybe he likes his car, so you smash it up, Then the person will be hurt, not physically but mentally. So practically that's what it means. And the fourth one is make people happy. Make every day a Christmas day. Christmas day is a day when everybody is happy, right? Because what? You give them things, right? You should make happy. If you want to have metta, you should practice Christmas every day. Today is Christmas. Here's something for you. Here's a necktie for you. Here's a necklace for you. This is making people happy. Sukhiyatanang pariharantu. Okay, these are the four ways of sharing your metta, radiating metta, of kindness, loving kindness toward other people.
Ajahn, what if this like unintentionally, you speak something that hurt other people? Is that like because you are unmindful and not practice the metta?
No, if you're not intentional and it's out of the people's own desire or defilement, then it's not considered. Like if you go ordain and your husband became sad, you ran away and you went to stay in a monastery, and he became sad. That's his problem, right? You didn't do anything. But if he wanted you to go away, he'll be happy, right?
Good point. But I have a friend that like walks so carefully so she doesn't step on the insect. Like, is that like a lot of metta?
No, I think that's maybe overdoing it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should be able to continue your life normally, and just be more careful with whatever you do. So, especially when you come close to animals or come close to animals that you can hurt them, then you might have to be very careful. But otherwise, you will be, doing things normally.
Yeah, I guess because it's to the point. Sometimes people always say that she's crazy. So I guess you also have to act a little bit normally in the worldly, like if you're in the world, you have to act normally, right? So not like too.
Yes, there are things that are beyond your control. So, but what can you do? You drive and then insects that fly into your windshields and die.
Yeah.
At night, especially at night, you have lots of these flies or insects that like the light. When see the light, they flew into the light and they got smashed by the car. So you have to look at it as a law of karma. because they did it on their own intention, right? Not on your intention. It's their intention to run into your car. Because they enjoy light, sensual pleasure.
Oh. Oh, I never
If they
thought
have
of
no sensual pleasure, then they won't fly into the light.
Oh. I see. Yeah.
They are attracted to light because it somehow gives them pleasure.
Oh. Never thought of it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people go out and drive, they got a pleasure of driving, but sometimes they run into accident. See, this is the result of the sensual pleasure. If they stay at home, they'll be safe, right? But if they go out driving, there's a possibility that you might get into an accident. But these are all unintentional. Nobody intend for the accident to happen, but sometimes it does. So you have to sort of know the middle path of your sila practice. Okay, any more?
No, thank you, Ajahn. Thank you for your teaching.
All right. How about you, Sri? Nothing?
Ajahn, like my questions is like should one hold like suffering, like so that one can practice more diligently? Suffering, yeah, like
suffer.
Yeah, like so that one can practice diligently. Like, is it because we didn't practice like diligently, so we didn't see suffering? Like,
when you practice, you're already creating suffering because your mind doesn't like practice. When you meditate, you start to feel uncomfortable already. This is suffering already. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to stimulate your practice, you might also have to create more suffering, like fasting, for instance. When you fast, then you have hunger, right?
Yes.
This hunger is also a form of suffering. But you use this hunger to instigate or to stimulate your practice of mindfulness, because that's the only way you can deal with your hunger, because you cannot eat. Normally, when we're hungry, we deal with our hunger by eating, right? But since you fast, then you cannot deal with your hunger by eating. So you have to use mindfulness instead. Because if you have mindfulness, you can calm your mind. And then 90% of your hunger will disappear. Because 90% of your hunger comes from your craving for food. And 10% from your body lacking the food. Sometimes maybe your body has more food than you need anyway. It's not hungry at all. But it's all your mind wanting to eat. So this way you can then use this dukkha or suffering to stimulate your practice of mindfulness.
Okay. Yeah.
In order to get rid of your hunger, your mental hunger. When you use mindfulness, you forget about food. Your mind becomes calm and hunger disappears temporarily. So this forces you to practice mindfulness. Normally, if you're full, then there's no need for you to practice mindfulness.
Okay.
So if this is the kind of suffering we use to stimulate our practice of mindfulness and wisdom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like when you say like Buddha said we have to contemplate like death or aging or sickness or the things that you love, you will lose it one day, right? But then sometimes it cannot stick to to our mind.
So you do it physically, separate from your family for a while. Go and live alone for 1 month. Then you know what the real separation is like.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
when you suffer, right? When you have to separate from your loved ones.
And from that suffering, then we keep developing mindfulness.
Mindfulness and wisdom teach you to see what happens when you're without anybody around you, with nothing, no money, nothing. When you live in a monastery, you don't have anything except the room where you stay and the food provided by the monastery.
Yeah.
Then you see what your mind is like when it has nothing.
That's when your mind struggle. That's when you practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if your mind happy having nothing, then there's no need to practice anything.
Yeah, that's like, if we every day immerse in this like sensual pleasure or so many things, that's why we don't feel the need to practice. Oh.
You're so involved with your sensual activities, so you have no time for your practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tanaja.
All right. Alfredo from Brazil.
Hi, Bante. How are you?
Good.
I'm
good.
fine, thanks.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good. Other day, I have a very good insight, Sakaya Ditti. It's very, very strong. I'm feel very, very good. You say last week that we have all day, né? All day intention, all day sati, né? 100% sati.
Sati.
Yes. When we have a good Sakaya Ditti, we have to follow the practice to other levels. Buddha teach the Dhamma very, very good, né? For example, sense of pleasures and good intents is other level, né? Sakaya Ditti is one level. Other levels, we have to follow to other levels.
Yes, there are other defilements you have to eliminate.
Yes.
The first level is Sakaya Ditti, which accompany with Silapata Paramasa and Vichikicha.
Vichikicha.
Yeah. All this will be done in the first level. See? The second level, then you have to deal with your sexual desire and your feeling of unease.
Yes.
Then you move up the next level to the avijja, to the titi level, which is the highest level.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. Next, Vignesh BK. Where are you from, Vignesh?
Good evening, Ajahn. From Malaysia.
From Indonesia.
Malaysia.
Okay. Malaysia.
Yeah.
Can you speak louder, please? And closer to the microphone.
From Malaysia.
Yes. Okay. Good. And any question?
Just a question, like very lazy to meditate. Sometimes I feel laziness. Don't do meditation.
Well, tell yourself you don't get anything from laziness. If you want to get ahead, you have to be diligent. It's the only way to get you ahead.
Okay.
So if you want to get ahead, then you have to be diligent practicing meditation, mindfulness.
Okay.
It's like working, see? If you don't work, you don't get salary, right? You don't get paid. So you go to work, right? Because you want to get paid. You're not lazy with working. Because if you don't work, you get fired and you get no money. You don't get paid. Same way with Dhamma. If you don't practice, you don't get Nibbana, you don't get enlightenment.
Okay. I try.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Pimpida, I'm not sure if she wants to speak or not, because Pimpida, you want to say anything or just join in? Go ahead.
กราบนมัสการค่ะพระอาจารย์
Okay.
I have no question today. I'm just joining to listen.
Okay, just to show your face, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Thank
nice
you so
to see
much.
you again.
So good to see you as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Then we go to who's next. Nobody. Everybody's turned off their video. So that's all the people who wants to ask questions today. If anybody wants, Will, okay, you turn on your video now. You want to ask any question, William?
No, for now, Bhante, I won't ask a question. Just thank you very much for your presentation as usual. So,
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, maybe I should go to Facebook now to see if there's any question from Facebook. Kula,
Yes, right now we have 8 questions, Tanajan. First question from Lisan from Singapore. What kinds of good karma that make us born as human? Thank you.
To become human as quickly as possible is to maintain the 5 precepts. Yeah. So that when you die, you don't go to heaven or you don't go to hell. You return as human right away. If there's a queue for you, if there's a mother or father creating a new body for you. But if you did more bad karma than good karma, then you go to hell first, or to abaya, to be born as an animal or as a hungry ghost. But if you have more good karma than bad karma, then you go and be born as a deva first, before you can come back and become a human. But if you just can keep the 5 precepts, maintain the 5 precepts, and you don't have to do dana, charity, or anything. Just don't do any bad karma. Don't break the 5 precepts. Then you can be returned as a human.
Next question from Lixen from Jakarta, Indonesia. What is Parita? Did the Buddha teach some Parita, and what is the purpose? Thank you.
This I don't know, I'm sorry. I only know about meditation. Parita are verses. I think they are teaching of the Buddha, and people recite them, and they call them Parita. I think if anybody has any idea, wants to contribute, go ahead. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Next question from Tin Jack. Dear Ajahn, hope you are well and healthy. Please forgive me if I have misheard. Earlier, you have mentioned that instead of contemplating, one should practice mindfulness. Can you elaborate further on this? Thank you.
Because the practice is like learning how to read and write. Before you can read and write, you first have to remember the alphabet first. You have to recite the alphabet. Then learn how to spell, how to combine the alphabet to form words. It's the same way. Before you can truly contemplate, you need to have mindfulness first. You need to have mindfulness and to bring the mind into calm, into samadhi, so that the mind become neutral. Then after that, then you can contemplate things and see them clearly as they are, and as not what you want them to be. If you don't have samadhi, if your mind is not neutral, you tend to be one-sided. If you like something, you cannot see it's going to be anicca, for instance. If you hate something, you want it to be anicca, but it doesn't go away suddenly. But if you have a neutral feeling, if you have a neutral mind, then just see If it's here, it's here, but sooner or later it's gonna be gone. So you need a neutral mind to really contemplate, to free your mind from any attachment or to have any aversion or to have any desire for anything.
Next question from Eli Hassan. Ajahn, can we say mindfulness is kind of habit built from our daily behavior or attitude, like one who can suppress anger because she or he takes an action to be not angry? Thank you.
Everything you do is a habit. Mindfulness is a mental habit that we don't have, or we have very little of. That's why we have to come and develop more of this habit. Because with mindfulness, then we can control our mind, control our emotion.
Next question from To Tang Peng. Dear Ajahn, I practice breathing meditation. While sitting, I feel like this body is experiencing vibration due to the heart beating strong. Can Ajahn give me advice on how to handle it? Thank you.
Because you're not watching your breath. If you keep watching your breath, then this thing you will not be aware of. You should not pay attention to anything that appears in your mind when you meditate. It's only focused on your breathing, on your meditation object only. And whatever appears doesn't matter. They appear and then they eventually will disappear.
Two questions from Lang Ting. Ajahn, sitting meditation by leaning on something to support the backbone and sitting by just in lotus position. The latter is more painful to the body. Can we use our common sense that it is better to leaning on a lazy? Thank you.
Well, you have to see the result from sitting into these two separate, different positions. Usually, if you lean your back on something, your body becomes comfortable, and then your mindfulness will become decreased, and then you will fall asleep eventually. But if you sit without anything to lean on, your mindfulness tends to be stronger, and you will not go to sleep when you sit in that position. So that's why we don't use anything to lean on when we meditate, because this will make you comfortable. When the body becomes comfortable, then mindfulness will weaken and eventually fall asleep.
Second question from Lang Ting. Sitting in lazy chair is more comfortable than lotus position. Can we choose to sit on lazy chair? Thank you.
It depends on what you want. If you want body comfort, then you sit on a lazy chair. If you want mental comfort, then you have to sit in a lotus position.
Next question from Edigan. Venerable Tanajan, what if we don't get the result that we want and expected, and then feel disappointed? How can we overcome this situation and keep going on? Thank you.
Because you don't do enough of it. Tell yourself, like eating, you only eat 2 or 3 spoons and you expect to be full right away. If you're not full, just keep eating. Eventually, you'll become full when you eat enough of the food. Same way with practice. You only practice one time, you already expect to get the result. So if you don't get the result this time, do it again. Do more and more. Eventually, you'll get the result you want. If you just keep practicing and not giving up. But our tendency is we like to invest with a little money and get high return, like buying a lottery, Powerball jackpot. You buy $1 and expect to gain $100 million. It never happens, right? You have to work hard to get what you want, whether in terms of money or in terms of meditation. It's the same thing. You just have to work hard for it.
Next question from Hai Ing Il. Is COVID-19 due to group or collective karma of people? Thank you.
I don't know. You have to ask COVID-19 himself.
There's 5 more questions coming.
Go ahead. Please go on. Go ahead.
Next question from Chin Li Ching. Hi Ajahn, what is the difference between insight from jhana and stillness of mind? Thank you.
Same thing. Jhana and stillness of mind is the same thing.
Next question from Tutu Pan. Namaskar Prajaan. I'm Tutu from Nepal. One of my friends was abused by one guy from phone and the text, and she was quite straight. Now it's more problem, but she is still straight. So how can I advise her, Ajahn? Thanks a lot, Ajahn.
Just turn off the phone. Don't answer the phone when this person contact her. Just ignore him. Delete him from your phone list or whatever. If you have to answer the phone, then just answer the phone and then place the phone away from your ear so you don't hear what he said. Let him say all he wants.
Next question from Shia Vincent. Is seeing things as what they are a happy feeling? Thank you.
It depends. If you see them what they are and makes you happy, then this is the right way. If you see what they are and makes you unhappy, then this is the wrong way.
Next question from Ui Pu Hua. Dear Ajahn, can Ajahn explain what is the difference between emotion and feelings? Thank you.
There are things inside your mind. Feeling usually means, when you have happiness, you have good feeling. Emotion also can give you good or bad feelings. So emotion and feeling are usually related, or sometimes comes together.
And last question from Joko. Namaskar Ajahn. If we uncoincidentally create mistake on our speech and then hurt others, do we make bad karma? Thank you.
If you have no intention to hurt them, then you're not doing any bad karma. Bad karma or good karma has to come from intention first. You have to intend, you have the intent and the action and the damage that follows, then the bad karma is complete. If just having action with damage but no intent is considered to be accidental. Like when you're involved in a car accident, no one wants to become involved in a car accident, but it happens.
Ajahn, one more questions coming up from Lang Teen. Having meditation using Putto mantra for a long time, but doesn't seem to enter meditation. Can we use our thinking to look at the body as we have learned from the books? Thank you.
If you look at the body, you have to look at the 32 parts of the body. Or any one or several parts of the body to stop your mind from thinking about other things. Is that all? The questions from Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, back to our Zoom meeting. Here, anybody would like to ask us any more questions, please raise your hand and unmute your microphone.
Evie.
Hello, Ajahn.
Okay,
can you hear me,
Evie.
Ajahn? Ajahn can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Ajahn, I want to ask what the right way to do because in my meditation I often to see my scar, my own scar, my my skull, my bone, which I call it scanning. I do scanning because sometimes I feel boring or my mind want to running go. So I must tie the mind to back to this body by doing scanning. What I mean is seeing the skull, the backbone, the spine, the hand, the leg, or sometimes kesa, loma, danta, nakha, tacho. That is the right way, Ajahn.
You have to keep doing until your mind becomes calm. If it doesn't become calm, you should not stop or switch to other things. Just stick to your body parts.
But Ajahn say the better meditation is not thinking, all right? But I still doing this, that is use my mind. So
yeah, it doesn't get you into jhana, but it gets you mindfulness strong enough so that you can then concentrate on your breath afterwards.
After doing scanning and
Yes.
kesa loma, I must back to breath again.
That's right.
If my mind I want to go, I must do that again.
Right, you have to stop thinking and just watching instead.
Okay, when I usually when I do kesa loma, I use thinking. Kesa is hair, loma, danta is teeth. I feel my teeth, I feel my skin, I feel my hair, I feel my loma, and I feel my tacho. Should I just repeat that kesa loma, or I must feel that sensation?
You don't have to feel it, just keep doing it, just keep reciting, just
recite.
Recite or visualize in your mind.
Just visualize, not to feel.
Don't need to feel.
Okay. And I have another question, Ajahn. My school friend is passed away yesterday because she has breast cancer. So when 2 weeks ago before she passed away, I see her very painfully. So painful. She is so suffer. She is I see she is moaning and gasping for the breath. So I was thinking, how if I was in that position one day, because I must die one day, right? But with what way, I don't know. I still don't know. When I was like that, for example, what can I do?
You should practice now, see, by sitting for a long time until your body becomes painful, and then teach your mind to accept the painful feeling of the body with calm.
Because I see like that condition, the person is that like condition is very hard to thinking, very hard to, we don't speak concentration. I see she is very suffering. Talking to her, I think she is not hearing anymore because she is so suffering, painful, very painful until she died. And if I am that condition, people say to me, how can I hear? How can I? Concentration is where I think that is.
You have to do it now, see. You have to do it now. You have to practice concentration, mindfulness, and samadhi. Once you know how to do it, then the painful feeling will not affect your body, will not affect your mind.
Because my friend are not meditating, so she is very painful, yeah, Ajahn.
That's right. That's why you should think of this thing first, so that it will inspire you to do meditation.
Yeah.
Because once you can meditate, then your mind will not be affected by the painful feeling of the body.
Okay, but she is passed away now. And what should I do for her? Is that sharing merit, all right? But how
You can do charity and then share the merit with her.
Do charity and mention his name, her name.
Yes, in your mind. Just mention it in your mind. Once you did your charity, then you say, I'd like to share this merit that I get from this charity to that person. Then
Imagine her
she-
face.
her face, her name, or whatever. But it doesn't mean that she can receive it. It depends whether she's waiting for it or not. If she's not waiting for it, then she won't receive it.
Because in meditation, I still cannot do for her, Ajahn. Share matter with meditation is not so easy.
So it's better to do things for people when they're still alive because you can do it. Don't wait until they die and try to do it for them. Because first you don't know where they are and whether they can receive what you do for them or not. So do for them when they're still alive. You know, the people around you, in your house, your husband, your children.
Okay, Ajahn. And my last question is it possible to achieve enlightenment just by chanting and listening to the Dhammatalk without meditation, Ajahn? Because other Buddhists is not recommended hour to meditation. They just singing, chanting, listening to the Dharma and prostrate with the count of 100 times.
Chanting only gives you mindfulness. And listening to Dhammatalk can give you the low level of wisdom, but not high level of wisdom. So I don't think you can become enlightened by just listening to Dhammatalks and chanting. You have to meditate.
And they bow down for 100 times and
1,000 times or 1,000,000 times, doesn't matter. Won't make them enlightened.
Cannot be enlightened.
The Buddha never taught them to do this, right? You started the sutta. Did he say bow for 1,000,000 times and you become enlightened? Can you find it in the sutta somewhere in the Tripitaka?
I don't know because I never read sutta. I just chanting. I just
search in Google. Go into Google and say chanting and listen to Dhammatalk equal enlightenment. Put a question mark in there. See what you get the answer.
Maybe just said. I think just Theravada who has meditation.
It's not only meditation. You need to do charity. You need to do chanting. You need to do this thing, but not just chanting alone. You need to do a lot more. You need to meditate. You need to teach your mind to see the Four Noble Truths, to see the three characteristics of existence. Then you can become enlightened.
Yeah, because when I meditation, my in-law said, "You should not meditation. Our Buddhists are no suggest us to meditation. Meditation can make people
okay.
What I call I don't know.
Thank
the
you.
The ghost get in our mind.
Okay, thank you. Let me go to some other people.
Okay.
Anybody else would like to ask any question? Or Facebook? Nobody.
Sajaka.
Sajal?
Okay.
Tanajan, when one is chanting the mantra Buddha, who is doing it? Is the mind doing it, or who is doing the Buddha? And that is actually kind of a question that comes to my mind. That who is doing it?
The mind using sankhara. Sankhara are the tools of the mind. Sankhara and sanya also. Perception also. Sankhara is formation of thoughts. Buddha is a formation of thoughts. Perception is to perceive that you are reciting the Buddha. So you use the nama khandas to recite the Buddha, to recite the mantra, in order to stop the sankhara. Because when it has to repeat something repetitive, it eventually get tired and stop thinking. See? But if you think about something that will lead you from one thing to the next, then you will not stop thinking. But you have to recite on something that has no meaning, then eventually you'll get tired of reciting, then you stop thinking. It's just a ploy, a method of stop your mind from thinking. Force it to think on something meaningless. It gets tired. Then it stops thinking after you force it to keep reciting the mantra. But if you think about money, thinking about going on a holiday, your mind will just go wild, because what am I gonna do? I have to buy a plane ticket, I have to make reservation, I have to make passport and so forth. Then your mind keeps thinking forever. But if you just recite the mantra Bhutto Bhutto, then it will stop. Because it doesn't lead the mind to anywhere.
One related question, Dhanajan, is that I may be wrong, that when I'm reading about Ajahn Mahabhua's this thing, that he's kind of reciting that all the time. Does it mean that when he was doing the sitting meditation that time, he was also doing Buddha, or he was doing Anapanasati?
You can do them both when you're sitting and when you're doing everything else. Bhutto can be used under all circumstances. But if you use Anapanasati, you only use it when you sit. When you're not sitting, then you use Kaya Kata Sati. You watch the body movement instead. But with the mantra, you can do it while you're moving around, doing things. And when you sit and meditate, you can still use the mantra.
Thank you, Dhanajan.
Okay. I saw Pimpida raise your hand just now. Pimpida, you want to say anything?
กราบนมัสการ once again ค่ะพระอาจารย์ since we still have time, a little bit of time left, I would like to ask you a question. One of my friends is diagnosed with terminal illness. So I've been guiding her through meditation practice, and we have been sharing meditation practice like every day. Like we just talk about how we did in our meditation session for that day. And she's been meditating for like a few months now, and she is doing like an hour a day. And she see meditation practice as her last resort, like the last help that she would get that would distract her from physical illness and physical suffering. So I was just wondering if there is anything else that you could advise me to give help to her. She is not in Thailand, unfortunately, so she cannot actually go to temple or anything like that.
Oh, she can meditate at home. Just try to teach her to keep mindful, stop thinking, and meditate as much as possible. And teach her vipassana. Teach her that the body that isn't her. The body is her robot. She's using the body like the body is like a robot, and she's the one who tells the body what to do. One day the body and the master will be separated. But the master doesn't die with the body. The robot died, but the one who used the robot doesn't die with the body. So there's no need for her to be fearful or to be attached to the body. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, ค่ะพระอาจารย์
All right.
That's very helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay. She just now said that the doctor had diagnosed her with terminal cancer. But the Buddha had diagnosed, all of us we have terminal cancer from birth already. At the time of birth, we already been diagnosed by the Buddha. I say, you're subjected to sickness and death. Yeah. But we just disregard his teaching, his diagnosis. Yeah. We ignore, we say, oh, it's still very far away. You know. Then we have to have somebody else to confirm the Buddha's diagnostic. That like a doctor, when you become sick, then you go to the doctor, and the doctor eventually say, oh, you got terminal cancer. But actually the Buddha have diagnosed us already from the time of birth, that we will die from sickness one day, sooner or later. So this is what you should do. Remind yourself that, death and sickness is just around the corner. So don't be afraid of it. You can deal with it by practicing meditation and vipassana. So why don't you do it? That's the problem, right? That's the question, right? Why don't you do it when you have something really good for you to deal with your sickness and death? Because you keep kicking the bucket down the road, right? So sickness and death is still very far away. I still want to do some other things. I want to be with my family. I want to be with my friends. I want to enjoy their birthday. I want to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving with them. Then suddenly death come around, sickness come around, then what happened? You're hopeless, despair, desperation, and stress and suffering. Because you're not preparing yourself. You have the tools to deal with this problem, and you're not learning how to use the tool. That's a problem. Vipassana and mindfulness. These are the tools that you can use to deal with your sickness and death. All right, that's why the Buddha keeps reminding us all the time. You're born, you're subjected to aging, sickness, and death. This is the verse that the Buddha recommends us to recite every day. At least once, if not less, at least once. Having been born, I'm subjected to aging, sickness, and death, and separation from the ones I love. Just keep reciting this. Then you start to become more what you call more alert, more alarmed, and they might force you to develop the method, the tools to deal with these things. So try to do this when you get up. The first thing you should do is recite this verse. Having been born, I'm subjected to aging, sickness, death, and separation. Just keep reciting this. If you can do this a lot during the daytime also, it's good, because it will then can curb your desire, curb your greed for money, your greed for things. Say, what am I going to do with this thing when I die? Ask yourself this question. I leave it to everybody else. Leave it to my enemy. Leave it to the one I hate, so they can enjoy from the fruit of my labor. Why don't you spend your time, your labor on the thing that you can enjoy yourself? Meditation. The fruit of meditation belongs to you, and nobody can have it. You take it with you. Okay, anybody else?
We have a question from Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
There are 4 more questions from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์ The first question from John Lee. Venerable ท่านอาจารย์ for Anapanasati, when watching the breath in and out, do we need to feel the sensation of the breath, or just simply mindful that your body is breathing now and feel the calm and emptiness? Thank you.
Just as long as your mind doesn't go away to something else, it's okay. Whether the sensation or just knowing the breath is coming in and going out, it's good enough.
Next question from George Lim and Boone. Dear Ajahn, when we are watching our breath during meditation, what is the meaning of subtle and not subtle breath? Thank you.
Well, when you breathe hard, it's coarse. When your breathing becomes softer, then it becomes subtle. Soft or hard breathing.
Next question from Lily Halim. The one who knows and Hattayawatu are the same. Please advise. Thank you.
Hattayawatu, I think, refers to the heart or the mind. which is the same thing as the one who knows.
And last question from Johanna Lee. Dear Ajahn, how to make the right atithana so that we can be reborn again in Buddhist family and surrounding? Anumotana, Ajahn.
Atithana cannot give you any result. Atithana is just a resolution, setting up your mind, a goal to do things. So if you want something first, you have to have resolution first. Like if you want to keep the 5 precepts, you first have to have resolution in your mind first. I'm going to keep the 5 precepts. Then you stick with your resolution. Then you can then keep your 5 precepts. If you don't have any resolution, then you don't feel compelled to keep the 5 precepts. Resolution is something that it's like a contract you make with yourself. Before you do something business, you usually have to write a contract first, right? To force people to do what they're supposed to be doing. When you do some business, you write a contract and you sign the contract. Because if you don't sign the contract, then people can do or not do. When they don't feel like doing it, then they don't do it because there's nothing to force them to do it. But once you sign a contract, then you have to do what you promise to do. This is the same way with atithana or resolution. It's a promise you make to yourself what to do. So if you want to be born in a higher realm of existence, you have to keep practicing dana and sila and bhavana. So you have to make this resolution. I'm going to practice dana, sila, and bhavana to the fullest extent. If I want to receive the highest goal of my practice, which is nibbana.
One more question from James. Dear Ajahn, can practice of pova help the dying? Thank you.
Practice of what?
Pova.
What is that?
I don't know.
How do you spell it?
Phowa.
Vhow. Wow. I don't know. Maybe it's some practice by some other religion or something. But you cannot help other people, and you cannot stop death if it should come. Even your own death, you cannot stop it, regardless of whatever practice you practice. Even the Buddha could not stop his body from dying, but he can prevent his mind from suffering at the time of death. Well, we have a new person in the room, Ricardo Antunes. Hi, Ricardo. Where are you from? Where are you from? Uruguay. Oh yeah, you were here in Thailand before, right?
Right.
Okay, you look different though, with your beard.
Oh, my glasses are different.
Oh, your glasses, okay.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. You still
Nice
practice?
to see you. I do practice every day, Ajahn, as you told me.
Don't give up.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best thing that you can do for yourself.
Excuse me?
It's the best thing that you can do for yourself.
Yes.
Nothing else in this world is as good as practicing the Dharma, teaching of the Buddha. Because it will give you enlightenment, give you peace, eternal peace. Nothing else in this world can give you this.
Right.
So are you living alone or are you still with your partner?
Actually, I'm living alone because she's working and I'm on another place. So I only have a dog.
I see. You
And,
live with a dog instead.
and in the countryside.
I see.
So
By yourself.
By myself and doing a
So
lot of meditation.
it's like living in a monastery then.
Right.
Good. You're smart.
Yes. You taught me. You taught me.
The Buddha taught us to live alone in solitude, seclusion.
Right.
Because this is the only way to access peacefulness of mind. You have to be alone.
Right. Right. Yes.
You have any question today?
Yes, I have one question.
All right, go ahead.
Although I know it's something that it happened 2 or 3 years ago, and I should not go after it, I'd like to ask you, because you have pure panya, pure wisdom, and I'd like to know. 3 years ago, when I was in Thailand, I went to Wat Pan and a chat. And one afternoon that I was very tired at night, I let it go everything, right? And I was doing meditation on the meditation hall, and I got inside a mind state that only once happened to me. I was like inside the space. There was nothing, it was black. But I could think, and I could see all the, I don't know, it was like a black space, wonderful, beautiful. And I stayed there, I don't know, maybe half an hour, I don't know. And after it, a bright light came, and I felt gorgeous. But at one moment, I felt afraid that that light was going to explode and hurt other people on the meditation hall. And so I was afraid, and I got out of that state. And I've been wondering, what was that state of the mind? And
It's one
I
form
thought,
of, okay, go ahead.
no.
It's one form of
Go ahead.
jhanas. It's just another one jhanas. One form of jhanas. Sometimes it's completely empty. Sometimes it still has some lingering things around. But your mind is calm, peaceful.
Yes.
It's like in space, in emptiness.
Right. Yes.
So it's good. Nothing. You should try to go back there as often as you can.
Okay.
But don't expect it or don't desire for it when you do. Just keep concentrating on your meditation object.
Okay. Okay.
Just watch your breath and you use breathing, recite the mantra, and don't expect to get a result. If you expect, you will not get it.
Right. Right. Okay.
And the more you do it, the more easy it will become for you to do it the next time.
Right. Okay. 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 Thank you very much, John. Hope to come back to Thailand soon and meet you again.
Okay, not now though. Now we have a lot of infection every day.
Yeah.
Not safe to be here.
Oh, here we are pretty well. We have 70% of the population vaccinated, and it's good, but it's impermanence. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's right. So just expect the worst, hope for the best.
Yes. Okay. Nice to see you, John.
Yeah, nice
again.
talking to you also. Okay, we have Sulan Uwe also just came in. Sulan from Singapore.
Yeah. Hello, Ajahn. Yeah, nice to see you again. Yeah. I joined quite late because I was busy with work. Yeah. So I've been quite stressed recently with work.
Any question today?
I think I just wanted to say greetings to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much.
All right. Nice to see you. Good to see you. Cindy, you have any question you want to ask? You also came in late. Or Monica, Cindy, okay.
Yes, yeah, sorry, because I have a weekly meeting, ends at 1 hour later. Yeah, so I'll normally join in after that. So actually, something crossed my mind. Just now, Tan Ajahn was saying that we definitely should practice more. So like actually for myself, I know that it's very important, but the work, especially the work takes up a lot of my time. And I know it's my responsibility to do work. So, but at the same time, I want to practice, and there's a lot of external factors keep on pushing you towards the other side. And sometimes it's quite hard to balance. So is there any advice from maybe Tan Ajahn? Can you give some advice on this?
Yes, you should look at the work that you do is only for the essential. You only work for the essential. This is for the 4 living requisites of life, of living. And so once you have this, then you should then scale down your work. You don't need any more, so that you can have more time to do your Dharma practice.
Okay, so actually, if in that case, actually by Tan Ajah's definition, actually is more than enough already.
That's right. If you have more than enough, then you should scale down or stop.
Okay.
Or find some independent work you can decide when to do and not to do. You can don't let the work force take away all of your precious time. You should reclaim your time back from your work for your meditation practice by scaling down on your work. If you think that you have enough already to look after your body.
Actually, Tan Ajahn, we are in the services industry. Clients actually come back to us for services, when they want to claim from the medical cards. So it is very difficult to scale down the work.
Well, you have to ask your work, then what you're gonna do? If you keep continuing like this, you'll stop one day anyway, right? When you get old, get sick, you're gonna stop anyway. So why not stop now? What's the difference?
No, I'm worried. I'm not prepared when I'm about to go. It's so difficult because I've been building the business for quite long, more than 20 over years. So now she's taking over. So there is an internal struggle.
Sell the business to somebody else. What's so difficult? Sell the business. Salvage yourself. Forget about the business. What you want is the time to do the Dhamma practice, really.
Yes, because actually recently, like, it has been taking up a lot of my time, and obviously they say a lot of even external factors keep on pushing you and say, oh, you're still young, you should build business, get more this and
you can die any day, young or old. Tell them that. Just like your mother just said, one of her clients just passed away, right? Ran over by a truck or something.
Yes, and my mom actually tells me that as well.
Yeah.
That I'm still young.
So you have to ask yourself, what do you want? You want money or you want enlightenment? You want nibbana or you want money? Money only lasts as long as you last. But enlightenment or nibbana lasts forever.
I don't really want, I can't say I don't really want, but I know it's more than enough. But
I think the defilements on it.
There's a lot of external things which maybe I'll have to work out with my mom as well, because she wants to retire and I can't immediately, don't do anything.
You have to also know that if you want to go on this path, you have to scale down on your living lifestyle also. You have to become more frugal, more austere. Eventually, you're gonna have to live like a monk or a nun. So you don't need all the money that you have right now to support your body. You have more than enough. So what do you work for? More money?
Yeah, actually, I asked myself that. That's why I'm not very motivated to work, honestly.
Yeah. And you're not motivated enough to go to do the Dhamma practice either. So you have to do more practice in order to give yourself more motivation. Because you practice more, you get more result, then you become more motivated. Okay. All right. Looks like we run out of time, or maybe over 2 hours now. So anybody would like to ask any more questions? Will, you want to ask a question? Did you raise your hand, Will? Okay, maybe not. Any question, more question from
Sulan.
Okay, Sulan.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn, for sharing. Because actually similar to the lady that just asked. Yeah, because for me, once I start working, although I'm an employee, once I start working, then I find it very hard to stop. It's like if there is unfinished work, I just will keep on working until I forget about the time and all that. I will forget about like eating also. Yeah. So is that also defilement, and how should I like manage this? Yeah.
Well, you have to have a time frame for your work. Once you reach that time frame, then you should stop. Don't let the work carry you away. Tell yourself, come back tomorrow and continue on with your work. If it's not pressing for you to finish it today, then wait till tomorrow and continue. But you have to stick to your schedule, your work schedule, not to work more than the time that you're supposed to be working.
Okay. Is it considered a defilement? Like I'm greedy to work?
Yes, it's workaholics. It's one form of pleasure or enjoyment. Because when you're not doing anything, you can feel boredom. You might have boredom. You might feel lonely or sad. But when you work, then you forget. Then you won't have this feeling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I couldn't understand why I just can't stop. Yeah.
You should switch the work from working to meditation instead. You're still working, but you're working with meditation rather than working with your work.
Yeah. Okay.
If you meditate, then your mind can also be happy.
Okay.
And better than working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Well, if there's not any more question, I think maybe it's time for us to call this meeting to an end. Thank you very much for your participation. Really? Did you raise your hand? Or did you want to say anything? Maybe not. Okay. Thanks for your participation. I hope this meeting can give you some benefit to help you advance in your practice and become successful eventually from your practice. In the meantime, please continue on practicing. Be safe, be mindful. I'll see you again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
ขอบพระคุณค่ะ
Thank you, Dhammatalk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, admin.
Thank you, admin.
Bye
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Admin, thank you. Good luck.